Good morning, back up at the Sod Tree House today, going solo today because I got a lot of work to do and I got to get it done because I want to wrap this project up. I'm just going to show you what I've been working on here. I also drove in these 2 and 3 foot stakes into the wall, and I've been doing that throughout the entire building process, and all it does is just reinforce that wall. It kind of acts like lattice. So if I was to strip away all this sod, you'd see sticks all over the place. If this wall decides to move for whatever reason, because it's still a sod wall, it still wobbles, it's just held in place by gravity. If it moves, it's gonna, these sticks are gonna hit this brace, so it's not gonna be able to go all the way over. That's the intent, it's just to reinforce the wall. So done that this morning, hung the door, reinforced the wall. I notched in the corners here. I notched this frame into the door, okay? So it's more solid. This door it won't move now. This entire wall is like one unit, and I also notched this in this corner as well. So today I want to finish off getting this window in, and then putting the roof in here, and then also finishing the rail. What I wanted to do initially for a roof was like a bark type of roof. Fir or spruce bark would work ideal for shingles, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a sod roof, because what I observed last time it rained for 2 days straight, could have put a coffee cup outside my window and filled it up in about 2 minutes. When I came here the next day, it hadn't pushed through the top layer, so I lifted off the top layer of sod, which is about 6 to 8 inches thick, and it didn't penetrate that. So sod will make an ideal roof for this structure. It's heavy to hold everything in place, and it should be a good waterproof too. There. Probably not going to pass if the building inspector stops by, but it's better than nothing. Rail is done. Super simple, just held in place by pressure. Really, really strong. to actually lay the sod bricks down, I'm just gonna use these ribs, which was just dry standing wood that I chopped down or pushed over, and then removed the bark, took off all the big knots, and now I'm putting them in place. This sod will hold this in place. So these pieces of sod are 2 foot by 2 foot. They're pretty big pieces. Alright, I'm just going to chink this a little bit here, and I'm going to go grab that one more piece of sod that I need. Alright. Here it is, last piece of sod. Last piece of sod. I gotta lug up these stairs here, these steps rather. There it is. Oh, last piece of sod. Let's go inside, take a look. The sod house is essentially done. Finally it's done. It's the first ever that I can find sod tree house. The first sod tree house in the world. And it's not light, you know, it's got a clay and boulder fireplace. This sod is really, really heavy. Look how thick these walls are, you know. They're over a foot thick. It's unimaginable to think all this material, all this sod, these lumbers, these pieces of timber were harvested and pulled up into this tree 12 feet above the ground, and that they're held in place with notches, hundreds and hundreds of notches. It's just one of the most, you know, amazing projects I ever did. This is literally a living, breathing, functioning shelter sod treehouse, you know, and it's the world's only sod treehouse. So I can't help but feel like this was something of an accomplishment. What was even a bigger blessing was I was able to do it with River Jude most of the time. 3/4 of this project was done with River Jude. So that's amazing. Al and River are coming down to visit me tonight. Later on, we're gonna celebrate this thing, the accomplishment of finishing it, with a couple of drinks, some beer and some wine. So I've got a few things I want to do. I just want to do a bit of housekeeping here, get this thing ready for the ladies before they come up, and make sure it's presentable. And you know, I've covered all my bases. Something like that. Yeah, I think that would be nice. There we go. That'll work. Alright, let me show you what I got here. So I've got my cooler bag here full of ice. I've got a bit of mosquito repellent because it's crazy mosquitoes out here. We are in Canada. I've got a couple of beers for myself. Main Squeeze from Alley Cat up in Edmonton. Love this stuff. Really, really good quenching summertime beer. I've got wine from me lady, Tin Horn Creek. Excellent winery out in BC, British Columbia. Love this stuff. We've got juice for River Jude. And of course we have a wine glass for Valley. Super excited to have Val up here because she hasn't been up here since it was just a platform. So she knows that these walls have been going up, but she hasn't seen any of this stuff. The fireplace, the walls, the doors, the windows, any of that stuff. So it'd be a really, really cool thing for me to see her see this stuff because I put so much heart and soul into building this thing. Hi River Jude, did you bring the flag up? Oh, wonderful. That's awesome. Okay, there's your flowers that I picked. I was gonna meet you on the trail. No big deal though. I'll come down and get her. There you go.
Hey, go Mom. Come inside.
I'm coming inside. That's so cute. What? There's a fire. Oh my. Can I see you right there? Pick up the door. Whoa, look it. It's like a little perfect house. It smells amazing too.
It's a living, breathing structure. There's worms in those walls. There's wasps, I know, because I've been stung by them. There's ants in there. There's mosquitoes, but it's warm. Super warm inside. All right, so let's have a beer.
How about River's drink?
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
upside down too. Well, I got a few traps I want to work on, and then I don't know. We'll see. Okay, you're gonna fall. I can tell. I can already tell that you're going to fall.
You could fall right through there, okay? And you want to keep these.
I'm just so glad to have this thing done.
Yes.
Ah, it's off my mind now.
Labor of love.
No, it wasn't a labor of love at all. Once you start something, you gotta finish it.
Man.
There's not a man in this world that could have built this tree house of just wit and his own volition. I'm kidding. Most every man I know could build this thing. Every man could build it, but not every man has a patient wife to put up with the fact that it took 2 weeks to build.
Is that why you picked me those flowers?
It was all I could give you, literally.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we're taking off. This will be the last video for at least 3 weeks, right? Because we're going to BC, chasing the sun. And
That's a video in itself.
that'll be a video, yeah. That'll be a video for sure. So this is done. All that's left is I gotta actually christen it by sleeping in it. So that's what we'll do. That'll be the next video.